So Games Workshop has announced the final box adventure in the Blackstone Fortress series. And at first I was naturally, of course, a little bit disappointed because I don't want this amazing train ride to end. I'm enjoying Blackstone Fortress immensely. It's a great way to explore the other side of 40K, something a little bit more intimate, rather than, and of course I'm a big fan, these massive apocalypse-sized 40K battles, the grimdark out there versus the narrative, something a little bit more like Black Library, kind of intrigue, and set in the Blackstone Fortress, very much kind of a combination of an RPG, 40K, and very streamlined, quick play type rules. And I love the discovery. I love the narrative. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. There's still a lot of content that I need to make my way through. And once we get the Zote expansion, which I know has been delayed a little bit given shipping circumstances, and then we're going to get this final adventure, which is going to wrap it up. My thought on that was what I had hoped to see all along in the Blackstone Fortress was maybe pulling in some Necrons, pulling in some other storylines, some other factions, kind of as a template to pull in, as opposed to, I don't want to say the usual chaos, blah, 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 chaos, 40K. I mean, I play Chaos Space Marines. I understand their prominence. I'm kind of glad that Games Workshop stuck to that narrative in this case. There were some side quests with the Amble and pulling in other aspects, but I enjoy the fact that looking halfway through all the expansions and playing it, there is a tremendous theme. There is a tremendous story behind it. So it's a random dungeon quest and you're leveling up and you're exploring, but there's bigger forces at work going on. And now I think looking at the complete picture, it's elevated to an even greater level. And I appreciate that tremendously. And I'm looking forward, not only as a completionist, but I'm looking forward to this final installment. The question, of course, is what's next? Where do we go from here? Now, GW has said they're going to support Blackstone Fortress for a while. What does that mean? It's been about, a year and a half. They've certainly put out numerous expansions. They've given it the White Dwarf love. They've given it some little adventure card packs. There's a lot of stuff out there. So it would be incomplete to say that they haven't supported the system. But the big question is, and I don't even know if we can look back to Age of Sigmar and Silver Tower, Hammerfall, that type of model, is that going to apply to Blackstone Fortress? So once we've completed this cycle, are we now going to get, I don't want to say Blackstone Fortress 2, but a new narrative set in the Blackstone Fortress universe with new characters, new adventures? I'm kind of taking it to that next level. Or are they going to park it for a while? Are they going to park it and go back to Age of Sigmar? Because it's the Warhammer Quest system, and we've seen this evolution. Are they going to take the Warhammer Quest system to something completely new in the 40K narrative? Is it going to be something like Space Hulk? Is it going to be set somewhere else in the Grimdark narrative? I mean, there's a lot that they could do with this plug-and-play system. We might leave the Blackstone Fortress for good. I thought I'd be sad about that. I mean, I'm a little bit sad, right? But I think there's enough goodness with the Blackstone Fortress to enjoy that narrative and push it out. I'm eager to see what's next. So right now, where are you in your journey into the Blackstone Fortress? And if you're listening to this vlog and you've been thinking about buying in, I think this is the question to ask yourself. The core is still out there. The expansions are still out there. They're still in print or enough stock. And this we can be sure of. And I'm not like jumping on the GW fanboy train to promote this, but I feel it's important knowing how Games Workshop operates and being a hobbyist for so many years. Once they close that door, you are not going to be able to find anything Blackstone Fortress anymore. And I'm not saying that that's now, next month or 2 months from now, because again, we've got the Zote coming out and we've got to get this final conclusion to the Blackstone Fortress. Once that's done and that door is closed, it's going to be very, very hard. So if you're thinking about jumping in, now's the time to jump in. If you're thinking about stocking up on expansions, catching up to it, even if they just sit on your hobby shelf, your gaming shelf, now's the time to do it. I was current on everything except for the Plague Marine expansion. And I was holding off on it because, well, it recycles some of the kits that are already out there. I've got Plague Marines, I've got Poxwalkers. I didn't feel the need to really explore that some more. And we've already got Chaos Space Marines in the Blackstone Fortress. Do I need more Chaos Space Marines? But having a chance to pick it up for $50, which in GW terms is a steal, I thought, let's get current. Let's get that expansion because it's the only one I don't have. We'll park it on the shelf and we'll get to it at some point, but it'll be there when I'm ready. And I intend to do the same with the Zote and, of course, the End box. But hopefully I'll be caught up through the other expansions at that point. So interesting times. Certainly, they've done more with Blackstone Fortress in terms of putting out these expansions and box sets. I've been very pleased with that. I'm looking forward to what's next. And the big question is if they jump back to Age of Sigmar. Part of me is like, I've got enough fantasy dungeon crawlers, and certainly the Age of Sigmar IP is awesome. Do I need to jump into that to play? On the one hand, no, because I've got tons of fantasy stuff. But on the other hand, if the system is as good as Blackstone Fortress, and if they release content on a similar schedule and similar narrative, I don't know if I'd be able to resist that. Simply because the fun factor that I've been having with Blackstone Fortress. Are you allowed to have fun in the Blackstone Fortress? I mean, it's been fantastic, and I think that was something that I would love to continue given the opportunity.